And here we are live with Uku, the CEO of Degritter. It's a great honor to have you here on the stream. Thank you very much for coming to my channel.
Thank you for the invitation. It's my first live chat. I think, yeah, at least in a live web chat in the context of Degritter, definitely my first one. So I'm a bit excited, a bit nervous to be here, but mostly excited.
Don't worry, we are all very friendly and happy people. No need to worry.
Good. Excellent.
Okay, so for those who are joining who don't know what Degritter is a record cleaning machine. And also thank you very much for everybody who's in the gallery and joining live. It's a great honor to have everybody up here and also those who will listen later on. So Degritter is a record cleaning machine, and from my part on, I was an early adapter. So when they started that project on Kickstarter, I was one of the first to join that project. And just a little housekeeping. I know you guys have a lot of questions. I got in a lot of questions, and we are trying to have in the last 10 minutes of this live stream, we are trying to have a little FAQ so you can all get your question asked to Uku. So Uku, can you tell us a little bit about the history and the founding of Degritter?
Sure. Degritter was founded in 2015. There were some hints of founding the company in 2014, but the main action took place in 2015. And officially, there are 4 founders, guys called Kalver, Daniel, Uku, and Jaanus. The main founder is Daniel, the former CEO of the company. And he had let's say 100 records at home, and he was looking into methods of cleaning them. And he was also very thirsty for founding a company. He had several attempts under his belt at various companies, and he saw an opportunity in the record cleaner market because they had, to his eye, the existing products were not looking that good and they were expensive. And the first aim was to make a ultrasonic record cleaner that is more cheaper than the present or 2015 market price, and something that's better, easy to use, and so on, so on, so on. And it turned out a bit different than what we expected, but it was a very interesting journey. I think the key moment was in 2018-19 when we finished our crowdfunding campaign. It was a test for ourselves as well to see if there's any traction for the product and for the team that we were. And we were successful at that, and we shipped the first machines out in 2019. And I would say the business got up and running properly around 2020 when we first visited, or after visiting our first Munich high-end show. I believe it was in 2019. Yeah, it was very beneficial for us. So yeah, the founders had a background. I'm let's say, okay, I have a bachelor's in physics, in applied physics. In no means am I a physicist, with all respect to the practicing physicists in the world, but I've always built things, and I really like building things. And then we had a mechanical engineer, Kalver, a space technology, electronics wizard guy, Jaanus, and then Daniel, a IT like architect was his position at the time. So rather a nerdish bunch of people with to sum up all the records we had for the 4 people. I think 100 records was the total. So that we all 4 of us owned at the founding time. But it has been a very interesting journey ever since.
Wow. So you've already mentioned it. Back in those days, there were already record cleaning machines on the market. Mm-hmm. So in various price points, and you mentioned that one of your accomplishments was to having a cheaper version of a record cleaning machine. We get to that point a little later on, but What sets Degritter apart from other ultrasonic cleaning machines?
Sure. So, as I said, we're not the cheapest ultrasonic cleaning machine on the market, as the aim was. And the reasons for that are several. So what sets us apart is mostly, I would say, the ease of use or usability. The machine is very fun, I would say personally. It's fun for me to use it. It's very easy. You just put the record in, you push a button, and it does the rest. It washes the records, it dries them, and you can just take it out of the machine and put it in your record player and play. So it makes the cleaning really a fun procedure for me. It's very easy to maintain. There's a removable water tank. So at the moment of when we came out with Degritter, it was the only record cleaning machine, I believe, with at least most certainly an ultrasonic record cleaner with a removable water tank, which we copied off of coffee machines. The first valves, indeed, in the machines. The first machines were from coffee machines, so it's easy to use. And it's highly efficient as well. It has a very strong ultrasonic amplifier in the machine. So per liter of cleaning water, it's the most powerful cleaner most powerful record cleaner in the world. And we use a higher frequency, which adds to the usability of the machine, because it doesn't make a very annoying loud noise to the ears. So just to recap, it's easy to use. Has a special high frequency cleaning action, and it's very powerful, and it looks nice. That's also, we had on our first Munich high-end show, we had people coming over telling us, thank you guys for making a good looking machine. My wife now allows me to come upstairs from the basement to clean the records. So we had actually people saying that to us, so it was nice.
Yeah, the first thing I thought when I saw this machine, it looks a little bit like a toaster.
Absolutely, and it's a record toaster by Deluxe, which is a very honest and good assessment of the visuals. The visuals were actually partly copied from the head designer Braun of the Braun company, the German Braun company, and the designer Dieter von Rams and his radios, actually from the 1960s. So if you look at the radios from that era, then we have some similarities from the visuals there.
If you made a display looking like from these old radios where you can switch knobs and you can say like 2 cleans, 3 cleans, that would have been a cool item.
Yeah, true. However, I personally do like this a bit of a modern touch. So for me, I say it's a Aston Martin DB6, the James Bond Aston Martin, with an electric motor. So it combines retro looks with a new edge, sort of, which is also true for what's happening on the inside of the machine.
Can you go a little bit deeper into the technical aspects of the record cleaning machines?
Sure. So just to recap on the available technologies in the record cleaning market, there are in the broadest categories mechanical machines and like suction machines and ultrasonic record cleaners. And we have here an ultrasonic record cleaning machine in the form of the Degritter. And how ultrasonic cleaning works is that, or at least in the Degritter, is that we have a custom-built, a bespoke ultrasonic cleaning bath. It's like shaped in like half of the vinyl record. It has transducers on the side which oscillate at 120 kilohertz, and they make the water. This oscillation creates vacuum bubbles in the water, really small vacuum bubbles, and millions of them at any given moment in time. And these vacuum bubbles, they grow in size and they collapse with a super powerful yet low energy or high temperature fast water jets, which are low energy. So these bubbles, they sort of fizzle up the dirt from the record grooves, So it's not physically correct, but I would say if to get the visual representation, it's equivalent to visually to opening up a soda can and you see the bubbles coming up. You see, it's like let's compare that to what it sort of looks like.
Oh, that's a very good example.
Yeah. But the bubbles are so small you can't see them by eye. It's on the order of like 2-5 micrometers, so very, very small.
And you also included the drying process where you have the fan, which you can also adjust.
Yeah, so the machine has a removable water tank, so it pumps from the back of the machine the water into the cleaning bath where the ultrasonic does its thing. Also, we filter the water while the record is being cleaned, so all the dirt that gets washed off from the machine is filtered by a inline water filter, as you're showing right there. And yeah, after the washing is finished, we pump the water back out into the back of the machine, into the water tank, and then we dry the record. And you can adjust the drying times and also the drying power. Because it was a popular request back in the day, because if you want to dry the records really fast, then that means you need to turn up the power, and then it's close to like a hand dryer, like one of the Dyson jets in airports, or it's really loud. So it was a popular request that we make it adjustable. And the Degritter machine is pretty highly configurable. You can set up your cleaning program as you like. You can choose between 3 washing programs, medium, heavy, like quick, medium, heavy, and you can adjust from 0 to however many minutes you want on the drying time. Plus, there's a rinse option, so you can use a second water tank to rinse off the water, the washing water from the record. And yeah, I think that's about it on the main functions. And of course, a very important part in the making of Degritter and developing it has been the software updates, the availability of software updates. The machine is, you're showing that SD card right there. Thank you. The machine is like wholly digitally controlled on the inside. So we can control everything pretty much that we do that happens inside the machine. And there's a lot happening, although it doesn't show on the outside. So yeah.
So as you mentioned before, you get with the Mark II, you get an SD card. With the Mark I, you had to buy one. And in my humble opinion, it's very old technology. You know, finding in Germany, I need an SD card, and they were looking like me. You're looking for what? So with the Mark II, you got an SD card, and then you can download the updates on the SD card and put it in the machine. The machine restarts, and you have the update within seconds. What kind of updates could that be?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. What kind of updates could that be? What kind of things do you guys update on the machine?
Okay, so when we founded the company, we were publishing updates almost every week. So, and we got feedback that the people were going crazy with updating the machine all the time. So we tried to be as basic as possible. The latest update we did was we went from a sort of numeric or alphanumeric display where we showed settings in the English language and numbers. We moved to on the Mark II to a pictogram menu. And that change was for us an important one to make the machine more available to a global audience that possibly, for example, in Japan, they don't read Latin letters. So we made it into a pictogram system. And for example, we changed the washing program duration to how many rotations the record does instead of just counting time, because that just makes more sense. Like I want to do a heavy wash, then we do like four rotations of the record. So stuff like that. And we also do some internal fixes, which we don't publish really, which are nitty-gritty. Let's put it that way.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about the safety of my precious record in your Degritter cleaning machine. So a couple of years ago, I've seen a YouTube video from a guy who said I did or built a do-it-yourself ultra cleaning machine, and this kind of damaged my records. So how do you prevent that my precious vinyl is not getting any issues, getting any scratches or something from the record cleaning machine?
Sure. So we have several safety measures in place. The most important one, which we discovered early when developing the machine, is that there's a pretty significant temperature potential or difference in temperature between the cleaning bath and the surrounding air. So when you go above 35 degrees in the cleaning water and room temperature for the rest of the record that's outside, the record starts warping. And so we have two temperature measurement points in the machine, which in real time measure the average temperature in the whole system, and we cool the water whenever needed. And we never let any temperature damage happen to the record. So that's a very important safety factor. And we've also, having done, I would say, thousands of tests on records, we've tuned the power and the washing durations so that there is no record. And what's, I think also, it's a technical little nuance, but the frequency we use, the 120 kilohertz, it's not something you would find in a chemical laboratory, for example, which uses mostly 40 kilohertz frequencies, because it's not very aggressive. In a chemical laboratory, for example, we need actually more aggressive cleaning than we do with Degritter. It's a gentle, deep cleaning that takes a bit time to get through the heavier layers of dirt to clean the record. But it's more gentle because the cavitation bubbles or the vacuum bubbles, which I mentioned earlier, they're very small, and the energy per bubble is smaller than in a 40 kilohertz system, for example. So that's like a bit of an extra step in safety. So I would say that these are the main points that we consider here. Yeah, ultrasonic cleaning in general is a very safe technology, I'd say, for cleaning records. Like, yeah, it is. It's. I would say it's the safest. But I understand the suspicion around it because it's a new technology. When compared to it's still new, even though it has been around for at least a decade, but it's a lot newer than the brushing methods since, I don't know, 60s, 50s or whatever.
And also the only way the machine is getting in touch with the record is on the outside. So you put the record on the outside and you put the record in, and the only way how the machine gets in contact with the vinyl is on the outside, and also when it's been spinned around on the outside of the record. That's the only way that the Degritter touches the record in any physical way.
Exactly. And another little feature is that the insertion slot, or where you insert the record above the machine, this is covered with a very soft polyurethane rubber coating, and the angles have all been engineered in a way that you cannot insert the record in a way that would scratch with any internals of the machine. You cannot touch the record surface. So the only thing that touches the record surface is the water and the rubber lip. So, yeah.
Yeah, I see some questions coming up in the gallery. We go through these kind of questions I've already got at the end. Like I said in the beginning, in the last 10 minutes, you can send up all the other questions. I won't, Mr. Nix, I've seen that. Thank you very much. Your questions also get been asked. So what kind of innovations can we expect from Degritter?
Good question. So just recapping on what we've done with Mark II, it's an old upgrade, but just to remind people, so we have introduced the pulse mode cleaning function in Mark II, which is enhances the cleaning efficiency. It lowers the wattage that is put into the water, but it improves the cleaning effect. We have the rinse tank added as well. And yeah, so 2 little upgrades on the Mark II I just would like to mention. The main sort of big news that's quite public already is that we're coming out with a new machine, the Phonotech, but we have already started to sell our new cleaning fluid, the cleaning fluid number 2. A fantastic name. I believe that one is.
I still have the one. The first. I still have the first one. I don't have the second one, but I've only heard good things about it.
Yeah, we could draw a parallel from the perfume world, Chanel number 5 and such, but we have Degritter number 1, Degritter number 2. So cleaning fluid number 2, it's really good. Especially it's designed against fingerprints, it takes off fingerprints better and any oily residues, and it enhances the wettability of water, so it wets the grooves better. So the record gets clean faster, and it gives a bit of a anti-static effect on the record. So it's a better fluid all in all. We're coming out, so that one is already out. We're coming out in autumn this year with a much requested dust cover, which is going to be super nice, made of Alcantara, which is a high-tech material, and synthetic material. And we refer to this dust cover as tailor-made. It sort of fits on the machine and has like cloth flaps that you can close on the sides of the machine that look like the helms of a suit. Yeah, it's going to be nice. So we're going to put out more news on that soon. And then we have the Phonotech, which is our sort of let's put it that way, a flagship model coming out to sort of be a testament to our technological capability. And also we want to satisfy a market need for a combination machine. We learned from Degritter owners, and actually other machine owners as well, that are not using the Degritter, but they're using other record cleaners, ultrasonic record cleaners, that they use several stages to wash their records, like a brush cleaner and a ultrasonic cleaner after that. So the Phonotech that we're coming out with combines the both in one, a brush cleaner and the already proven Degritter power drive ultrasonic generator. And we will have 2 water tanks. One is integrated already into the machine. It's then one for the soap water and the other one for rinse water. And this rinse water is going to be filtered with carbon filters. So it's going to be really clean water in the cleaning path. And you can run as many washes as you want, because we have huge radiating fans in the machine that cool the water. So it's going to be a true workhorse for the more passionate cleaning person.
So for everybody who hasn't seen pictures of it, because I already made a video about it, this is a very high machine, and it has a price point around, I think, 7,000 euros.
Yes.
So it's very huge, and I think it's been done for like big record stores. I think for people who need to have a record cleaning machine 24/7, because I looked inside the machine and I saw, wow, if I need to maintain this, holy cow! And is the shipping included in the price?
I hope so. It is. Yeah. The maintenance. So as I said in the opening minutes of the discussion here, that Degritter was founded by rather geeky guys, then one of the design principles we had was that the machines need to be very easily maintained, and they have to be sort of we have to be, and if the customer wants, they have to be able to repair the machines. So the filters, for example, in the Phonotech, they are not manufactured by us. We use Aquaphor filters, and they have a very easy click and release system, and you don't have to really access it too often. and the machine design is accessible, or the internals are accessible and modular. So if there is ever going to be any need to do repairs, then it's going to be as easy as possible. We're going to make it as easy as possible. But about the size, just a comment on the size. So it was so it's sized like as high as a TV table. So definitely a lot bigger than the Degritter Mark II, a lot taller at least. And it was a knowing design choice because we could have fit all of the technology that we have into a Phonotec into a smaller package. However, it would just not make sense from a user perspective or a user design perspective, because then you have a clunky piece of like kit, a big thing on the desktop, and it really visually and like from a usability sense, it doesn't make sense in that context, but it does make perfect sense in a sort of desktop context. So it was a knowing design choice that we made with our design partner, which I'm really happy with the end result, definitely.
Yeah, I hope to be on the high end next year and have a look at this this machine. I'm really
yeah,
excited.
Absolutely.
How important is record cleaning?
We had a small meeting with our marketing team here, and we went over this question in preparation. And in all honesty, we don't really educate our customers on why this is important, because the Degritter owners, they are not, well, on average, they're not new to this issue that records they sound better when they are cleaned. But however, I will still reiterate the main principles here. Cleaning your records, and Degritter doesn't have to be in play here. It can be other methods as well. Is pretty much the cheapest option you can do in regard of improvement in sound over the input of money you put into the system. So when you compare it to upgrading, for example, to a more expensive gramophone or record player, the effect is going to be, a bit, maybe this much, maybe this much. However, if you clean your record, the effect is like, I can't fit the effect on the screen here, right? It's big. So it's the fastest, the cheapest way to make your record sound better. And then come the little details, such as your stylus will remain in good health for longer, and your records will be worth more, on Discogs or whatever. And yeah, it's the main 3 points is that it's a improvement in sound and improvement in the lifetime of the records, and also their value.
For me, the value is not the biggest point in this thing. For me, it's very important to care for my records. And therefore, for me, the most important part is to have them cleaned, to have proper inner sleeves and outer sleeves to protect them. So for me, the value is not so the case just to have a feeling of a clean record and a very good taken care of record in this case. So I want therefore the best possible option to clean, and for me the most convenient way to clean records, because I clean like hundreds of records, and this is for me the most convenient way to put it in there, press a button, come back 10 minutes later and have a cleaned record.
I agree, Nadine, and it's actually the same for me, because records are not your streaming service. They are a physical object, and it's good to have a personal relation to your sort of collectible, or at least that's what I feel with my records, is that I like to clean them, as you said, to sort of, it makes me feel good about my records. I see them, I look at them, are they okay? Like flowering their plants, sort of. So definitely, it also improves, the relationship between your record collection and yourself.
Absolutely. So since I think that since Degritter started, also new record cleaning machines got to the market. Some of them look quite familiar. But how do you guys handle competition? Because I think you were the first ones who came up with this design idea, and also with such an easy use, such a convenient use, and have this also these things possible. And later on, new machines got on the market who have like similar features or things like this. How do you handle the competition?
So yeah, absolutely. We live in an open market society, and competition is you know, from a business person perspective, unsettling, but yet again, it's very important. I think for the sector in general to have some healthy competition. So we have to look at what we can compete with and what we can't. So the machines when we manufacture, they're still, even in spite of the more cheaper machines that have come out, the machine still is the most powerful and easiest to use and most effective machine in the world. And what you get for the money is also the customer service, for example, which we are taking very, very seriously. We always have. So we keep our customers close to us, like cleaning records like as we just spoke. So we try to have a good relationship with our customers, and we invest into that. The machines are made and built and assembled in Estonia, which is in the EU, and northeast of the EU. And we try to put as much as money that we get. We try to produce as locally as possible. So we have all the steel, all the metal work is done in Estonia, and we have designed, put time and effort into the design of the machine. It's repairable, so we try to make it as a complete service. Like you're not just buying a black box that cleans the records, but we have more to offer. So we can compete on that front, and new technological innovations, because we're rather technology heavy, at least on the inside of the company. We have engineers, lots of engineers at play. And we are thinking of ways to make the machine better all the time, and also in the case of Phonotec as well, which is going to be a game changer, at least on the technological aspect. But we cannot compete with a toy factory in China that's operating on absolutely different principles, like on work time, wages, and we don't have a toy factory at our hands. So we can't really compete like in mass with the overseas producers. So we put our effort elsewhere. We try to be smart about things. We care about our customers. We keep them close, and we invest into the quality and engineering, the technology, and the visuals and communication. So that's what we do. We try to be a step ahead, not a step behind. So we try to open the new front as but what we can use from overseas are the sort of smarts of the ancient philosophers. So if you want to win in battle, don't play against with the rules of the invading sort of party, but open your own fronts or new fronts. So we're doing that with the Phonotec, for example. We're opening a new market segment with the product offering.
Yeah, that was a great answer. What are Degritter's visions for the next 2 to 5 years in innovation, new technology? What can we expect?
So I have personally learned the hard way that it's not good to give out early promises, because then we will have lots of emails to reply and lots of messy communication. So what I can definitely say that we are very busy with getting Phonotec out there. What we demoed this year in Munich was already a pretty functional machine, but it needs to be manufacturable to actually achieve the 7,000 price point, which you mentioned, which is not trivial, given all the technology that's in the machine. So we're hard at work with that, and also getting the dust cover finished in manufacture. And what comes after that, I would have to say there are plans, at least for the next 2 years. And in the very long run, personally, let's say, how do I put it in politically correct terms? I'm interested in the relationship between the records and the record collector. Like how can we improve on that? Like take away friction and make it somehow more fun or more personal to own the records, and no matter how many they are.
My wish would have been, when you announced the Mark II, I was so hoping to get the deluxe version you presented, I think a couple of years ago in Munich. It was a red machine and it had 2 tanks.
Yeah.
I was so
yeah. So the change we did after that was because we couldn't deliver on that promise there. It was it was a communication sort of faux pas for us. Because it was supposed to be a concept machine, but somehow we managed to communicate it as something we were going to deliver, which was not the plan. So to sort of compensate on that, we came up with the rinse function. So to have dual tanks available, at least you can swap them out. The sort of political answer here is going to be thank you for the suggestion. We're going to write it down, and let's see what happens. But the first example of this machine is going to be the Phonotec, which has 2 water tanks in it.
Yeah, totally got you. Also, it would be great if is there a screw I can remove these handles for better cleaning? Screwdriver, is there a way I can remove these things?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, it's Torx or hexagonal.
It's a Torx.
You can remove it. It has some thread lock in it. It takes a bit of force to remove it, but good point. We will write it down.
I'm free for hire to be your beta tester. I'm absolutely free to do that.
Excellent. I'll write that down too.
So my only issue with the machine is, and I'm a totally Degritter fangirl. I absolutely am. But my thing is, I have sometimes very dirty, really dirty records, and I don't do a manual cleanup, pre-cleaning before, because in my humble opinion, if I pay a certain price point, I expect the machine to do the job, and it does it brilliantly. But the water gets so fast, so warm, that I have a longer cleaning time. Is there also in the future, I think the Phonotec might be a machine, like I said, for if you have a record store, if you have really a large collection and you really need to clean 24/7. And I think the Mark II is like for the record collector who needs to clean like 5 to 10, 20 records a day. So this, in my humble opinion, your experience might be different. But if this is really something I tried, distilled water cubes, ice cubes to get the temperature down. I have actually 4 tanks at the moment. 2 I put in the fridge and then I exchange. But that's quite a hassle. Are you having plannings for an upcoming Mark version to also solve this?
It's definitely a issue for people like you that want to clean more records than, I don't know, 4 or to 10 per hour. So it's it's like we've hidden this sort of nicely into the cleaning time. So we extend the cleaning time automatically when the machine needs to cool. And it's very high on the list of things to improve with the Mark II. So it's definitely there. That's all. That's what I can say presently. It's high on the list. However, as I said, like this year, our attention is on Phonotec. So all I can say again is
Totally.
subscribe to the email list, and you'll be updated with the news.
So, all right, I'm getting now to the questions because there are many coming up, and we have one question for Rainer, who can't be here live, but he would like to ask one question. Can I put the water tank into the dishwasher?
I would like to say yes. However, you have to choose a cold water program, because the tanks are made out of ABS, and it's quite a soft plastic. Especially when it comes to high temperature washing. For example, I know from personal experience, when I wash my kids' bowls that are plastic in the dishwasher, then they sometimes come out lopsided. So I would definitely recommend a cold wash in the dishwasher, and yeah, I don't see the problem there really, and yeah, should be okay.
So I think
just one more little comment on the tanks. It will likely also diminish the aesthetics of the tank. It's due to it being ABS plastic. It scratches quite easily, which all the machine owners probably know. You will, when you insert the tank in and out, you will quite soon see some little scratches on the side. So I think the dishwasher might leave some marks, I don't know, from adjacent dishes or the walls of the dishwasher or whatever. So it's going to change the aesthetics of the tank as well. But I think it's a valid cleaning method for the water tank.
And I think I read in the manual that you shouldn't include other dishes when you clean the tank. So it should be run only with the tank.
Yeah, depends really. So you use common sense is what I would say.
Perfect. And Rainer asked again, I tried it once and a thin metal pole had a very strange plug afterwards. Degritter, please provide a video how to clean the whole machine.
Okay, so the first question, the metal handle or the pole here in this question is made out of anodized aluminum. So what likely happened was that there was some chemical in the either the cleaning solution or the rinse aid or whatever was used in the machine, in combination with the temperature, which enhances chemical reactions like on average. There was likely some chemical reaction which reacted with the aluminum. Maybe the anodized surface was already scratched or something like that. I don't know. But then it's totally possible to have a strange plaque afterwards. Furthermore, what's I think important here is that maybe the plaque was calcium residue because dishwashers use tap water. And depending on it's so different where you are in the world and which the water sources are. For example, I know in Munich, because I've been to the show so many times, I know that the water contains a lot of calcium residues because the water is of alpine origin. If you go to some place that has deep bore wells, for example, where the water comes from deep wells, then there's very little calcium residue. Maybe it was calcium residue, I don't know. If Rainer really wants a new handle on his tank, drop us an email, we'll ship you one. Degritter, please provide a video on how to clean the whole machine. If I'm not mistaken, there might be something in the pipeline regarding this. I know there are some videos coming up. Yeah. So I hope one of them is on how to clean the machine.
Yeah, so what I can say, guys, because it's when you have the Mark II, it's I think mandatory to do it after 200 cleanings, and also if you don't do that, you have problems with the warranty. So as far as I understood, so you need alcohol, you need a toothbrush, you need vinegar to do that process. And I know the pain of everybody who says I would love to have a video, because I would have loved that too, but I tried because I was over the 200 and I said, okay, I do that. So a video about this would be absolutely great.
Noted.
So, Mr. Nix, I love my Degritter Mark II. That said, how much of 99% alcohol can my Degritter Mark II handle, estimated max in the tank, if just water and alcohol?
I believe we have an official recommendation in the manual, at least we once had back in the day. So there are two or several aspects here to the reply. The machine itself is rather chemical proof. So the washing tank is made out of stainless steel, high-grade stainless steel. So alcohol is not going to do anything there. And the plastics are pretty alcohol safe. Now, alcohol in high concentrations can have a detrimental effect on plastics. So I would rather put on forefront the safety of the vinyl rather than the machine. The machine is going to be outlast the record. So I would reframe the question of like what is the accepted level for the vinyl record in the cleaning process. So, and unfortunately, I can't give it an answer because it's it partly depends on how much risk the person is going to take. I'm going to see if yeah. So I don't have an answer. I can ask in my chat in live. Maybe they will reply to me.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, ask away.
So guys, if you have more questions to Uku, please write them down. Otherwise, I continue with a question I got via email. And afterwards, Alexandra, I've seen your question as well. So somebody wrote me via email that he cleans also a lot of dirty records. And he has the feeling that when he cleans afterwards another record with the same water, that he has the feeling that still particles of that dirt from the first cleaning is now within the water and might damage or cause damage to the record. Is that possible?
So the Degritter Mark II does have an inline filter, so it does a great job at removing large particles, but it's not very good at removing dissolved stuff like salts or whatever similar. So these are left in the cleaning water. So here it's definitely possible that if you do not use a rinse tank, for example, for rinsing, and if you just use the same cleaning water repeatedly, and especially when dealing with extra heavily soiled records, then it's definitely possible that there will be residues from the cleaning water on the record. So my recommendation here is to use common sense in changing the water. But foremost, use a second tank for the rinsing cycle. Rinse the records. It will definitely help with this. And also, a very simple test is a visual test. Look into the water tank or lift it out. Look against the light. If it's clearly of soapy looking, then change the water. The problem is pretty much solved in the Phonotec, which has a rinse water tank integrated into machine. But not only that, the rinse water is in turn filtered, so it's always clean. Or should I put it that way? The water in the cleaning bath is always filtered, so you always have clean water in there. So clean water is very important. To sum up in one sentence, clean water in cleaning records is very important.
And also, please go ahead.
Yeah, so change your water.
And also clean your tanks regularly. Do it regularly, at least when you clean a lot of records. Do it a couple of times in a week, because you will be stunned how much dirt will be on the bottom of the tank. So that's absolutely because this which is dried dirt, and once you put in water again, this dry dirt will be once again put into you just freshly put in water. And so therefore clean your tanks regularly. So that's my advice for this.
That's a good pro tip.
Thanks. So Alexandra wrote in German, but I will translate it. She's asking how long can she use the Degritter? Is there like after like 5,000 records, the Degritter just says thank you and good night? So how long can I use the Degritter?
Yeah, that's a feature we will include in the next software update.
So by the phonotech, then you can clean as many records as you want.
Yeah. So the official warranty for the machine is 2 years that we give to any machine sold in the world, no matter where you are. That includes Germany. So during these 2 years, from the date of purchase, we take the responsibility for any sort of manufacturing defect. Other than that, you can safely clean, should be able to safely clean thousands of records, 3, 5, something like that. I don't know of the current record. I believe at least we have run, I believe, 7,000+ runs on our in the Degritter office. We have machines actually working every day. Single record sitting in there. The person in the room, whoever goes first, just turns the machine on, writes the number of runs on the paper, and boom, it goes. I don't know, maybe it's up to 10,000. I haven't checked, but we have these machines at the office. We call them stress testing machines, and they're just constantly running. So they're definitely above 7,000, I think.
Yeah. And Alexandra, I can only tell you from my experience, I had the Mark I, which I cleaned thousands of records with. I have the Mark II, which I cleaned also thousands of records with. And the most important thing is that you maintain the machine, that you clean the tank, that you look at the filters and do the cleaning. And if you do that, you have a very long-lasting machine because it's very solid built. It's built like a tank.
Yeah, thank you for that. And if there are any issues, then just drop us an email at support@degritter.com. We really take any issues really seriously if there are any, because like when we started the company, we had lots of issues, but we've been keeping track of all of them and really solving them on the go.
Yes, I was one of the first persons in Germany who got the Mark I back in the day, and I was in touch with Daniel all the time about certain things. So it was very quick response and very send me pictures and really getting into the nitty gritty of the machine.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Audiophile Journey. If the effect of cleaning a record is so significant, how dirty must the record have been beforehand? Does this only apply to really old or very dirty records?
It's a neat question. Thank you. So let's say for a person that's entering the record cleaning market or into the field of record cleaning, or someone that's just starting to care for their records, then the effect is significant. If, for example, if a person is used to listening to crackling and popping records, then it's quite significant. Now, most of the Degritter owners that are more experienced, they don't clean records on that dirtiness scale. Rather, they have more clean records. So the answer is, yeah, the record must be dirty for really dirty in order for it to make pops and clicks. So it's records. One of the sort of ways a really new fresh pressing gets dirty is static electricity, or just handling it from the sleeve and taking it out, putting it back. And actually, a very loud popping sound on the gramophone or the turntable can be produced by simply a minute dielectric discharge due to antistatic. So it just makes a crackle and a pop. And just giving the record a wash, even if it looks really clean, just a quick wash with the cleaning fluid number 2, then you will be good to go. No more static popping for you. So it's still, cleaning doesn't only mean that there's lots of dirt, but it also gets rid of the antistatic if proper chemicals are used.
Yeah, I would go so far, and from my point of view, is I clean every record, if it's old or new, because you have to consider, even if you buy a new record plants are not laboratories. They are not super clean.
No,
So
not.
sometimes I get new records and I pull them out of my favorite paper inner line sleeve, which I think I paid so much for the record. Why don't I get a polylined inner sleeve? But that's a different case. And you have dirt all over the place. So even if it's a new record, fresh from the pressing plant, I suggest, if you have the possibility, it doesn't need to be a degritter, but if you're just starting and want to buy a cheap record cleaning machine, do clean every record. Your listening experience will be better, and also your stylist will be thankful forever if you do that.
And you have a more personal relationship with your records, as we discovered earlier. Just a little fun fact here, fun for me, is that in Tartu, this is the city I am presently in, and this is where 99% of the Degritter operation takes place, the manufacturing offices, whatever. All of it is in Tartu. It's a southern city in Estonia. And in the same city, Tartu is called sort of the vinyl capital of Estonia, because we have lots of record stores, fanatic people here making audio shows and so on. Our shop called Püttsepp, especially. If you're into old records, then give that a look. And also, the largest vinyl pressing plant in the Baltic states is in Tartu. So we get test records from them regularly. So my order is that pretty much, can I have please 10 kilos of records? I need them for testing. So and I've been to these record pressing plants many times, and it's definitely not a medical facility on the cleanliness scale, but they do their best to keep them clean. But it's they need to make a living, and if they would to press the records in a white box, and it would be shit expensive to buy the record.
Yeah, I once had a little Richard record from the 50s. It looked absolutely pristine. I put it on my turntable and I felt I was sitting next to a crackling fire. So I put it like 4 times through the heavy mode of the Degritter, and it reduced that noise significant. It made an unlistenable record with all the noises listenable. So that was for me a huge discovery. So it really did work. So
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a Degritter fangirl. I am. How many years before we see the Mark III version?
Well, we're past 2023. That year ended in number 3. So I don't know what's the next year that ends with 3. Just kidding. I'm coming back to the Phonotheek thing. So we're going to have to do the Phonotheek as good as we can, and then we'll see about the Mark III. Yeah. Because as we've discussed, there are things that could be improved with the Mark II. However, I'm not going to put out any dates. No. However, I'm open for suggestions, and as we are in the company, to how we could improve.
Yeah, and to everybody, the Degritter just launched a new product where they invested a lot of money, a lot of time, and you have to keep that product running because you're a company, you need to make money. Therefore, the main focus will be, I think, now on the Phonotheek and get that running and established. And you still have with the Mark II a very, very good record cleaner. You still get software updates. So I think on the long run, you're still good to go with the Mark II before there will be a Mark III. So that will be my.
And this is also like from the business perspective, it's important not to have too many product updates all the time. Because we as a business need to take good care of our stores as well, our partners. And if we make them update their stock all the time, then we effectively dump the whatever was in stock before. So it's not a fast process by any means, to at least for us, as we care for our customers, but we also care for our business customers or our business partners, our stores. So we're not shooting out new updates too often, because we keep it a good stable flow.
Yeah, because also for the customer, when you just bought a Mark II, which we've discussed is not the cheapest record cleaner, and then 2 weeks later you announce, oh, there will be next month the Mark III. I would be very thankful for Degritter to do that. So
yeah. We had the buy-in program for the between the Mark I and Mark II.
Yeah,
we bridged the gap a bit.
Yeah, that was great. And there are hardly any Degritters on the second market.
That's good.
So does the record cleaning fluid not just leave a new residue on the record?
So the answer is yes. After having, so I've been, my sort of responsibility due to various or historical reasons in the phonotech development has been on the filter side. So I've been working on filtering systems actually for, I believe, 1.5 years. And they're like 95%, I would say, or even 99, I could say, % of all the cleaning fluids on the record cleaning market leave a residue, if not rinsed. So, and this is, you could look at this as something that you do not want to have on the record. However, you could not achieve an anti-static effect, for example, if you did not have a microscopic residue on the record surface. So you do not want to go overkill with soap. You do want to rinse your records after cleaning with soap, because when you wash hands and you don't rinse the soap off, then it's not a good result. However, the Degritter fluid number 2 is a very easily rinsable cleaning fluid, and this was one of the design considerations we gave to our chemists who we hired actually from a large chemical factory. So we just gave him a list of features we want to have, and then we started working. So easy rinsability is on the list of features for the record cleaning fluid number 2. There will be a astronomically thin layer of something left, but that gives you the anti-static effect, and it doesn't really affect the listening experience or the health of the record. On the contrary, you could argue that it makes it better due to the anti-static effect.
I know that we are short on time, so you can decide if we want to go into the question from Audiophile Journey, considering if the nail everything's down to cleaning, is the cleaning quality a huge difference to the Chinese product that use the same technology, or is it more in support design and build quality?
Okay, so I'm trying to understand the question. I will reply to it, no problem. Just okay, we have a so referring to this Chinese product, unquote, Degritter still is a more powerful cleaner in all aspects. We use a higher frequency, which gives a deeper clean, and per liter of water we have more power. Plus we have the pulse function and frequency sweep and lots of stuff happening there. So this product that we're referring to, not naming, is not using the same technology on a deeper level. It's in the same ball, we're playing the same game. The game is called ultrasonic cleaning. However, ours is more of a race car compared to that. And the rest, I would say, it really comes down to personal choice as well. Like, not all people in the world can afford the Degritter, so that's okay. And we have to target the people that can afford the Degritter, and we try to do our best to be friends with these people. And that's where the second part comes in. So support, design, build, quality, and so on.
Yeah, I would say it that way. You can drive in a Volkswagen to Paris or in a Ferrari. You get to Paris in some way.
It's true, and I very much keep true to this myself. For example, I really love my car, which is a Volvo V70 from 2001.
Of course, it's a Volvo.
It's a very old car, but I have a very personal relationship with it. So, as you do with your records.
Yeah, I totally get you. And so he says, great, thank you for answering the question. You have a new customer.
Beautiful. Nice to meet you, new customer. Audiophile journey.
Yeah, his name is Thomas, and he
Hello,
was
Thomas.
excited to choose what kind of product to buy, and I think he waited for the live stream to decide.
Excellent. I'm glad we could be of help here.
Yeah. So I think if you guys not having any more questions, I've asked all the questions I've had up here. So maybe one last question is, many people say, oh, we are living in a vinyl bubble, so the pricing for the records are exploding, and at a certain point, this bubble will explode and the records getting cheaper. How do you see that, and how do you think it will have a backlash on buying a Degritter or record cleaning machine?
Well, when we started Degritter, the bubble was not really there. So the sales were increasing year by year. So now we can talk about, or now we can talk about the bubble. However, I think the vinyl record market is so much bigger compared when you compare it to a record cleaning machine market. It's a fraction of what is the record cleaning or record production market, and our value really is not there, because the person that's subscribing to one of these monthly services, for example, I don't know, maybe you have subscribed to a monthly update of records, but I'm just, I think, like, high value records or record collections will still be there even when the bubble, even if there is a bubble, collapses. So there will still be a need for cleaning the records that have already been bought, or from records from the 70s or 60s or whatever. These records have to be kept clean, but there are people that want to clean these records, and that's where we step in and we provide the machines that we do. So we don't see our growth really coming from the growth of the video record industry presently. The correlation is there, but it's not massive. If we would be manufacturing vinyl record sleeves on like on a large scale, maybe then I would be talking a different talk. But I think there will still be a demand for record cleaners out there.
Yeah, and I personally don't think that there is a bubble which needs to explode. I think new people getting into the hobby, and at a certain point, maybe when you build your house and everything, you say, okay, I have the money to now buy a record cleaning machine because I want to have the best care for my records. There will be still a market, and some records, some rare records, they were always expensive, and they will be expensive also in the next 10 to 20 years or even more.
So I think to really extrapolate on a personal level, then I see why the vinyl record exists, because it's something you can sort of touch. It's a real thing. And I personally have a streamer at home as well. So just to play music quickly or whatever, I just heard a new song from the radio yesterday. I want to just play it on the streamer. And I see that there's a place for both worlds. For the vinyl record as well, and I think the true value sort of for me in the vinyl record is taking time off, from the busy of the world, from the very busy, and you go through this listening ritual, which is much slower than the busyness around you. And I see that that's the place where the vinyl record or whatever sort of physical object in the world sort of manifests itself the best. That's important for me on a personal scale, to take off time and be with your own thoughts and feelings, and take time for that.
Yeah, vacation of the mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I totally handle it. So thank you so much for your time. I very much enjoyed it, and I hope some people got a little more insight into the Degritter, and you got all your questions answered. What I would suggest, if somebody is watching this later on, write the questions down in the comments below. And Degritter has a very good social media team, so they might look at this and get in touch and answer the question right away if you have questions.
Absolutely, and it's actually something we discussed with our team, that if you have questions, write them down, send them to Nadine or to us, and we can do we can reply to them via social media.
Yeah, you can write a mail to me at Nadine@Soldiscore, and I will forward the question, or you can write it in the comments and I collect them. So your questions will be answered one way or the other.
Excellent.
So thank you so much. Don't do anything, Uku. I will take care of it. And guys, have a great week. And once again, thank you very much, Uku, for taking the time and doing your first live stream.
Yes, thank you, Nadine, for the invitation. It has been fun.
So thanks a lot. And everybody in the Peanut Gallery, have a nice day.